I'm very excited to play this one. This is Slay the Princess. Apparently it's a horror game, a psychological horror game. Something similar to Doki Doki, I assume. I'm not 100% sure. I have heard nothing, and I refuse to watch any kind of playthrough because I don't want any spoilers. So I'm just very excited. I also like the little cursor that they've done. That is very cute. Whatever horrors you may find in these dark spaces, have heart and see them through. There are no premature endings. There are no wrong decisions. That's what I like to hear. There are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. I see. Okay. The hero and the princess. Actually, let me see if I can make this. What are the preferences for like the size? I was trying to make it full screen, but it doesn't seem.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Whoa. Oh.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Why? Well, there's a lot of. Oh. I kind of want to.
That's the spirit. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Pristine blade.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
If I don't take the blade and enter the basement, how am I supposed to slay her? Like, by strangling her?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
I'm going to play the fool.
You must have the wrong address.
Great job, you've given away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
I'm just gonna be honest.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. You were joking about coming to kill me, right? Do you think you could get me out of these chains?
A bunch of British people. What place is this?
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
What, like cut off your arm?
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
That is true.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
So there's someone
else
here?
here? You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Who is they? I want to know.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
I want to see what happens.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
I think she was doing fine without the blade, to be completely honest with you. She seemed like she was just ready to...
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal.
Oh, the cursor has changed.
No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Is the narrator controlling us right now? I
Wait,
thought...
this isn't fair. You can't
Oh.
just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
No.
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands.
What's with my
What
hand?
are you doing?
What's with my hand?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right?
It could.
Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Ooh, this is. I didn't know that there would be a chapter 2. I
You're
thought it
on a
would just
path
end right
in
there.
the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Oh,
Are we running away? What are you doing? We have to save her. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
nope.
There won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be nothing forever. Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path...
This is like Coraline,
also
where
leads
the
to
world is
cabin.
just round, and then
How
you just keep on
convenient.
walking
Everything's
back.
back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
That's fine. Who cares? I mean, the princess is gonna
Fine.
die.
You turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy. What's going on? Where are we? Oh, I don't like this one bit. There's not a single damsel in sight. How dull.
A rumbling? You have a story you need to finish. It is the only way for us to escape this place. No, you cannot go back. Not there. This world is broken beyond repair. We must weave something new. There is only so much thread in this place. Do not waste it. I am your only salvation.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
The real Slay the
And in
Princess
the
starts
basement
here.
of that cabin
What was that, an
is a
intro?
princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all,
I think
no
it'd be a
more
good
people.
thing to have no more
You
people.
have to put an end to her. Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Really?
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
I don't like being told what to do.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
Yeah, why me?
Oh, if only that were the case, but I don't make the rules.
Who does?
I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far, but unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off. Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did. Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
I would want the world to end.
I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
Wrong.
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress.
Well, I didn't say I was
Seamstresses
like
contribute
good
something
with
of
slaying
value to
anybody,
society.
unless I'm an assassin.
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Okay. Then I'll slay her this time.
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than
than your wildest imagination. Good. As long as you remain focused on your goal, it should all be smooth sailing.
Alright, if you say so. Alright, let's go.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I still want to, strangle her. I think that would be more poignant, you know? Let's try not taking it, and let's try...
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing her voice softly.
Hello? Is someone there?
I'm skipping dialogue because we've seen this part.
It's hypnotizing. Don't let it fool you.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
What if we just say hi and then fuck off?
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
You see there's one chain here. This one seems to be hacked off. So had she freed herself before? Or this one is attached to somebody else?
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Jeez.
Okay.
Making me sneeze. It's her revenge.
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird.
That is weird.
She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need. You should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess.
It is relevant. It's like, how does she survive?
Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right? The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter. It's not like you'd believe me.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out. So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
I'm gonna stick to my gut and lock her in the basement.
I know you think this is some kind of fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here. It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work if we just stay here and keep watch. No one has to die.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way back to the stairs.
Fine. Turn your back on me. But it won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Either way, she dropped the mask, didn't she? You can still grab the blade and get back down here. It'll be the death of all of us, but fine. We'll do it your way. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade.
Where did the blade go?
Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forget it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't. Just ignore her. Maybe the banging and wailing will stop if you just don't pay attention to it. You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
How did I help you?
Try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Like what?
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time. But we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
It's okay. It's not the first time I've died.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. A terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Shh. What if he hears us?
Voice of the paranoid.
That's a very good question, little voice. What if he does hear you? Shit. I think you'll find yourselves very hard-pressed to keep any secrets from me. Not that it matters right now, because like I said, this is the first time we've met. Still, I'd rather not get off on the wrong foot. We've a world to save, after all. We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We couldn't trust either of you, and as far as I'm concerned, we still can't. All we did was lock her away. And how'd that work out for you? No comment. Well then, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And your solution is to send us back in there. Do you want us to slay the princess, or do you want the princess to slay us? Obviously, I want you to slay her. One of you poses a threat to the world, and the other doesn't.
You don't know that. I could be a terrible
I believe
person.
Your other question was something along the lines of, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Speak for yourself. From my perspective, there were plenty of consequences. I'm never going to forget the way she just made us stop working. And that's only scratching the surface. If what you said is true, it begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or have you found yourself in another world altogether? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died?
Are we just going from parallel timeline to parallel timeline, and then just ending each world? Is that what it is?
Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she brought an end to everything and everyone, how are we supposed to stop her? What do you want from us? I want you to succeed. You'll find a way. You're the only one who can. Just be quick about it. Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world. She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin, and you'll be fine. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
If people locked her up last time, but she's able to escape when we lock her up, then I don't get it. People locked her away. Why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me? Exactly.
I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. You can't just goad us into doing something by calling us special. It's manipulative.
Exactly.
Why are you trying to manipulate us? I don't know, I kinda like being special.
Of course you do. Everybody
Fine. Maybe you
does.
can goad him into doing something, but he's not even the one who makes the decisions here. I'm not goading you into doing anything. You already know the princess is dangerous. All I'm trying to say is that you have to be the one to deal with her. I know it doesn't seem fair, but that's just the way it is. And for what it's worth, I know you have it in you to finish the job. We don't. You saw what happened to us last time. We need to leave.
You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going
Yeah,
into more
but-
detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. If you want us to stand a chance against her, we need to be armed with information. What is she really capable of? How are we supposed to stop her? Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word.
You haven't given me a lot to trust you on
He
yet.
isn't telling us everything he knows because he doesn't trust us, which means that we can't trust him. Stop talking yourself in neurotic circles and just get to the cabin already. Do you see the way he keeps pushing us? We have to get out of here. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Fine. Let's go try and slay the
Before
princess.
you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. I don't think lying and cheating is her thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away. It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone. The interior of the cabin is plain. The smooth
There's a mirror
wood of
now.
the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Hold on. What happened to the door? There was a door here last time. It's just an empty frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done.
Well, it seems like the princess got out.
So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it.
I'm tempted to not do it.
Very different. I'm not the only one who sees her in the window, right? She knows that we're here. Calm down. Maybe the three of you just think everything
three
is
of
different
me?
because you haven't been here before. Enough of this past life nonsense. You haven't died. You certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
Three of me includes me?
So focus up. A lot's riding on this. You You walk up to the wall next to the empty basement door frame. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know
Why
how
do I
ridiculous
look like
you
a
are.
lizard thing?
Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad.
Nah, I'm going in
We should have
without.
taken the knife. I don't think going down there unarmed is going to do us any favours.
And clearly, I'm not
You
human.
cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps suspended in darkness. More eyes, too. You never mention the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Okay, we need a game plan. Last time we were here, just being close to her was enough to kill us.
Ooh, this sounds fun though. I kind of want to step off to the void. Let's do it.
You attempt to step off the stairs and into the pitch black surrounding them, but you're stopped by an invisible force. Why did you do that? What did you think would happen?
I was curious.
Congratulations, you really lucked out. Of all the things that could have happened from stepping into a void, nothing is quite possibly the best outcome you could have gotten. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you. Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement. We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again. Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
Well, we are trying to find you too, so that would help us out.
You turn to the left. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow. This is it, isn't it?
It's almost like you want me to get you.
There has to be a way out of this. Think! Think! What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open. Heart. What are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want... And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death. Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again. Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more? You have seconds left. Yes, I'm sure. Heart, lungs, liver, Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead, even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. Why? The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission. And how are we supposed to do that? We don't have a weapon. The way out of here is nowhere to be seen. That isn't my fault. Doesn't matter whose fault it is, because fighting her isn't an option right now. Then you should get looking, shouldn't you?
Because I don't want to. And even if I did, I don't have to. Look at the way you're struggling to stay alive. It's taking everything you have to keep your heart pumping right now. And I'm enjoying the show.
The princess leans forward, bringing her masked lips close to your ear.
If I want to see you gone, all I need to do is break your concentration.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. She slowly runs her velvet glove across the base of your neck. It feels like static. And then... Shit, make her stop. Hey, snap out of it. Okay, deep breath. Deep breath, we're fine. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. You're back. Lungs, liver,
One
nerves,
moment,
heart,
and then
lungs,
you're gone.
liver, nerves,
Just
heart,
like
lungs, liver,
that.
nerves,
Ah,
lungs,
and
liver,
there's the
nerves,
fear.
heart, lungs, she pulls away. Nerves,
But that wouldn't be very fun, now would it? I've already done that.
liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
I am what I am. It's not my fault that you can't handle being around me.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart.
What happened after you killed me last time?
I tried to leave while you suffocated, but that stupid cabin wouldn't let me. So I started to drag your body out with me, and then... Well, you died before I could get to the door. And then I was here, and now you're here too. I don't think I can live without you. And dead doesn't count. And as much as I love what we have going on, I have bigger plans than tormenting one poor little creature forever. I want to leave.
Liver, nerves, heart, lungs,
If you need me alive, then why did you threaten me on the stairs? Why didn't you try being nice to me?
I am being nice. You're alive, aren't you? And you died of fright as soon as you saw me last time. I didn't think keeping you alive was an option. But it looks like that's not a problem anymore. At least not for me. You seem miserable.
nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver.
And if I let you go out, what then? Do we go our separate ways?
No, definitely not. If you're what I need to leave this place, chances are you're pretty useful. I think I'll keep you right by my side. A little good luck charm to make sure I stay free. Don't worry, I'll make sure to take good care of you. I promise.
Nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver.
We don't have to be enemies. We can work together. We can be friends even.
I'm glad you're seeing things my way.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, 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 lungs, liver, nerves, heart.
Hey, let's get out of here. Yeah.
No!
I knew you'd come around. Oh, this is going to be so wonderful.
No, I'm not going to let this happen. Before you can utter another word, your body stops moving, and,
Do you think you can just wrest control away from us? This body's barely functioning as it is. Doesn't the world end if we fail to stop her? Won't letting us die here just make it end faster?
Shit. Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs. With a flick of the princess's wrist, the stairs slide back into place. I can't believe you're making me watch you damn everyone to torment and oblivion. Heart, lungs,
Come along now. You don't want to be stuck down here.
nerves. The princess glides onto the stairs and beckons you to follow. If only you had a weapon, this would be the perfect opportunity to use it. But we don't. We've already made our choice.
we can still grab it on the way out. You're not wrong, but maybe you should let me handle the suggestions for the time being. Just focus on keeping us alive. Right. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs. You step onto the basement stairs, following the princess as she ascends. Pins and needles punctuate your every step, an uncomfortable and constant reminder of your mortality. Is this really worth it? At least it's a choice. That doesn't justify anything. A terrible choice is still terrible.
Make sure you keep up. We wouldn't want you to fall.
Liver. As if acting on instinct, you crane your neck and look behind you. There is nothing there. The princess reaches the top of the stairs and taps on the door. Her head twists back in your direction, watching you with dead eyes as the way out creaks open. Don't forget that your pristine blade is still on the other side. You can still make this right. You can still save everyone. You can still save yourself from becoming her tormented pet. There's no harm in us having a weapon. All it does is give us more options, and we are dangerously low on those right now. Have you considered that maybe you could operate the autonomic nervous system for a bit? Everyone is trying to manipulate us, and I can only do so many things at once to keep us alive. Heart. Liver? Your body seizes violently as you regain consciousness on the floor of the cabin. No! You're doing it all wrong. You're supposed to do it like this. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. I guess I have to do everything around here, don't I? Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs.
There we go. Back with me where you belong. I thought you might have decided to break yourself just to spite me. It's better for you that you didn't. Now we can get back to business. For starters, we won't need this where we're going.
The princess plucks the blade from the floor and tosses it through the door behind you. It vanishes into the inky black of the basement, never to be seen again.
It's
Guess we're
fine.
not stabbing her in the back.
I didn't want to stab her at this point anyway. I want to see what happens when I follow her. Like,
I guess not. I'm going to fix myself a stiff drink. If I'm about to watch you hand the world to her on a silver platter, I'd rather not be sober.
And now you open the door.
There's nothing else for us to do. The doorknob twists in your hand, revealing the forested path beyond the cabin. You bastard. You've actually done it. You've actually doomed every nerves, heart,
It's so beautiful.
liver,
I can't wait to ruin it.
heart,
But it's so cold, too. It's itching against my skin.
lungs, liver, nerves, heart,
Why is it so cold?
liver.
what happened?
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? He is. Does that mean the world ended? Yeah. No voice needling us anymore. Feels good, but I also feel itchy. Cold. You're right. She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing. I should feel better with her gone. But I don't.
Yeah, she gave us a purpose.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should. It's calling us. And not in a good way.
What else do we have to lose?
I'm begging you, don't do this. It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. Vague recollections, empty tunnels without a mouth. I am sorry if I frightened you.
Are
I
you?
am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
Solitary
Thoughts
lights?
without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
Don't we all? What do you think
that
I
you are
am?
like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
The gift of a fragile
Yes.
vessel.
Nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives to make my own.
Okay, so they're just using her body.
This one is filled with sadness. A doll, abandoned to the company of her darkest impulses. She desires only companionship, but the only thing she knows is how to hurt. She will make for a tender heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found her way home.
Do you know the narrator?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Let her
I'm
out
sorry.
of there.
There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Are you the
She is
princess?
part of me, and part of me is her.
But were you always the princess, or are you just making her a part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Kinda does. Do you know about the worlds beyond this place?
I know only that they are. There's nowhere for you to be but here. Nothing, as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
I was sent here to slay the princess and stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
You're being semantic. What are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
How much will I forget?
Everything, until we meet again.
How many more pieces of you do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
And what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
What if I say I'm not going back? Does the game just end?
If you need time, then I'll wait with you.
What if I say wait forever?
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage. You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine.
Oh. Huh? Did the game do that on purpose? They totally fucking did, didn't they? Oh my god. Yo, it's taking a long time to load. I mean, unless that wasn't the game.
You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
That was good. Okay.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
You're on a path in
Okay,
the
hang on.
woods,
I want to see what this is. So
and at
this
the end of
auto,
that
this is
path
skip.
is a cabin.
What is this? How far back does it go? Oh, it doesn't go that far back. Oh! What the hell? What is this? Okay, anyway.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay.
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job.
Now I'm gonna try
You
slaying
make your way
the
up the
first time.
short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The blade is your implement. You'll need it.
I'm
if
gonna
you
take
want
the
to do
blade this
right.
time.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds different this time.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Is it because I took the blade?
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Is it all because I took the blade?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Yes. Let's just do it.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Let's just do it.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh, this is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die.
Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
She can't be dead. I don't believe so. That was way too easy.
Over? Don't get all worked up. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that.
I feel like if I get near her, but I feel like if I don't remove the blade, she's gonna use the blade. There's no chance she's dead.
You lean down and wrap your hand around the blade's hilt. But as you begin to slide it out of its resting place, you feel a sharp and sudden jab in your side. What was that?
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for that now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own deeper between your ribs. As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort, the little life that was left in her eyes fading rapidly.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess we're even now. See you around.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? It doesn't matter. At least you managed to take her with you, for whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The razor.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
But I already slew. Is slew even the right word? The princess? Sure, she also killed me, but I definitely got her. Why am I here again?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time.
So if you'll never
If he doesn't
remember,
what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
This whole thing's a crock of shit. She's just going to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us again.
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. You said this whole thing would be easy, but after we sank our blade into her heart, she just got up and started stabbing us.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons, so there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine.
let's assume I'm telling the truth, and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you, and why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We mostly listened to you. How are we supposed to know she'd spring back to life? If she sprung back to life in this hypothetical scenario, then clearly you didn't slay her. But congratulations, you've been given a chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We stabbed the princess stabbed us, and now everyone's right back to where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left?
Screw this. Who cares what happened to everyone else? She's not going to play fair, so we should do what we can to save ourselves and just get out of here.
At least you know not to trust her, but you do realize that everything and everyone includes you, right? If you turn around and leave, you're dooming yourself as well as everyone else. We were so close to finishing the job last time. She can't get the jump on us twice. If we're careful, we should be fine. That's the spirit. Just keep that stiff upper lip, and you'll save the world in no time at all.
That stiff upper lip. Okay.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat.
He couldn't be more on the money. But we're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say you're lost, but I'm stuck here with you.
We know what to look out for this time. We know to be careful. Just stay focused and you'll be fine.
Right.
The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Again, he can't see the mirror.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Can you two stop arguing? It's stressful enough in here without all of this extra noise.
I care. I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am.
I care less about that and more about whether we're being lied to. If he's willing to lie about something as innocuous as a mirror, what else is he hiding from us?
I selected the handsome one, but they...
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do? You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
Now it's gone. Yet another thing in here playing tricks on us. I hate this place.
Alright, I guess I'm
You
taking
take
the
the blade
blade.
from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her hurt for what she's done to us.
Let's make her
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour.
That's right, scraping. I told you she has something, I told you.
That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head. Her grating voice carries up the stairs.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There is something so wrong with that voice.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room. I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that.
How
are we?
mischievous she looks
She's
like.
trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
You remember what happened last time?
Last time? If somebody came into my house and stabbed me to death and then I killed him, surely I would remember that.
She's so
But
playful.
I don't remember it, so it must not have happened.
There you go again, talking up delusions about a past life experience that clearly didn't happen.
Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her? She's obviously lying through her teeth.
I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember, right?
Right.
Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or time travel or whatever it is you think you're doing.
What am I doing? I know you have a knife.
Knife? What are you talking about? I don't have a knife. Where would I keep a knife? And why would I stab you to death? I don't know you. You haven't given me a reason to stab you to death. It would be so silly of me to cut you open and look at your insides.
Okay, I could have sworn we didn't mention stabbing anyone to death. Sounds like she's really out for blood. Fortunately for you, she isn't armed.
Prove it then. Prove you
It would
don't
be
have a
so much easier
knife.
to prove that I do have a sharp object. I could just show it to you, but I don't have one, so I can't.
The princess smiles as she pulls her hands from behind her back.
But look at this! Hands! Hands that don't have anything in them to stab you with!
Her smile stretches into an even wider grin as she shakes her sleeves.
And empty sleeves, too! Look at how few stabbing implements I have. It's practically zero.
But what if you're just hiding it somewhere secret?
I've shown you all of my hiding spots. What kind of princess do you think I am? I would never hide something sharp somewhere secret. Wait, that sounds like I'm lying, but I'm actually not. My secret zones are for me, only they have nothing to do with you or my intention to not stab you to death the second you get close to me.
Her smile drops for a moment, her expression sharp and flat.
I assure you, there's nothing hidden there.
I'm inclined to believe her on that one. She seems serious.
Of course, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have something hidden somewhere. We know for a fact she's armed.
But that's exactly what happened, so you do remember it.
Would I just lie? Would I just lie to your face and tell you a thing I remembered happening didn't happen just so I could stab you again?
Yes.
I mean, just so I could stab you for the first time.
Aha! She slipped up there. She said again, and her taking it back doesn't count. Do you hear how deranged you sound right now? Please stop dawdling. This is only going to end with violence. Postponing the inevitable is only going to make it worse for you when it actually happens.
I don't have the key.
Oh, you don't? Okay, I see. I have an idea. You should come over here and stare directly at the chains. You won't be able to find a key if you don't know what it's supposed to look like, so you better come right within close staring distance just to be sure.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her. She certainly feels threatening. Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it. But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your job. But I'm nervous. All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
We killed each other last time. I'd rather not do that again.
But if we killed each other, then why are we here, right now? Both of us normal and unstabbed.
What if we're both honest with each other? I was sent here to stop you from ending the world. You killed me last time after coming back from being stabbed in the heart.
That doesn't sound like me.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide you're ready to deal with her? We're clearly still figuring out our angle. We don't have the luxury of watching this from a distance. Oh, I'm sorry, do you think I'm in a position of luxury right now?
I do. You grabbed a drink last time.
You're acting like you are. My entire world is at risk. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long way. No, I have my dignity. Fine, and will continue to treat you exactly how you deserve to be treated.
Look, I know that you're mad at me, but I think we both need to let bygones be bygones.
But I'm not mad at you, so please stop standing so far out of reach.
I think I've said my piece at this point. I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your questions, it beats getting stabbed to death.
Okay, I'm gonna try not stabbing her.
Of course I won't.
Against your better judgment, you walk across the room to within arm's reach of the princess. I don't like the way you said within arm's reach. You hear the horrible sound of metal slicing through meat. Whose meat? Not ours, right? Hers, at first. Then yours. Your neck, specifically.
Hehe.
You collapse to the ground, your vision swimming as you attempt to focus on her bloody blade and the limp sack of flesh that was once her arm.
You're going to die now.
And with a quick jerk of her elbow, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Is she a transformer? How did she turn her arm into...
You're on a path in the woods. No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time. We're starting in the fucking cabin. You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp. A constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do? I feel dizzy. Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now? The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore. have to fight.
What's the point of fighting if she's just going to win every time? It hurts being sliced to pieces. We're better off just sitting up here and doing nothing.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times?
This is our third?
No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realise that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction, right?
That can't be right. That's too much responsibility. I couldn't agree more. We couldn't be trusted with the fate of a single person, let alone the fate of the world.
Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent metal table. A pristine blade perched. We take it. Okay, sure, you take the blade before letting me finish telling
He's
you
in
it's there.
charge.
It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. This feels right. We just have to keep our senses sharp. That's right, we've got to be able to win eventually.
And what if we never do?
So, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to head to the basement like you're supposed to?
Where's the entrance?
I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down there? You walk through the door. You do know what doors are, right? But there isn't a door, it's just that mirror again. There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see reality anymore. I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust it.
Okay.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror. Well, it doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open it.
Let's just move it out of the way without looking. I don't want to see us. I'm sure we all look awful after dying twice.
We look awful in general.
Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess.
Oh.
You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks open. And the mirror's gone. How surprising. It was never there. Just an illusion. Guess it's time for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom. Your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hi, it looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
Fun for her, maybe. I didn't like dying all over again.
Thinking about dying makes us as good as dead. The only thing that matters is survival. Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once. Nothing bad has come of it yet. Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin. The people there mattered. The past isn't real. There's only here and now. Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades, glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor. She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas.
I'm gonna try flirting with her. Oh, that's so funny. Wait. All of these ideas suck. Think of something better. I'm tempted to try this or the floating.
Yeah, that's right. We just have to think. There's probably an answer if we think.
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment, she's across the room, blades flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you.
Barbecue. Anybody?
Ow. What a surprise. Yeah, we don't even get a second to think without her stabbing us. Oh, a new one of us.
I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? Your Honor? No, Your Honor. Where the hell are you?
I think we're dead, and that's all we'll ever be. Dead, 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 dead.
Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely not dead. This is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here? This is 4. No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her, as long as we keep moving.
Oh, great. So it's going to get even more crowded. Even more deluded voices that think we might stand any kind of chance.
Come on, show me something new.
Okay, plan now.
Right, let's try the floating.
Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman. She skewers you.
You're cute.
Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps. We just have to hit her harder. She skewers you.
You'll have to be trickier than that.
Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh, that didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I thought. Just panic. Flee. She skewers you.
No, you don't get to escape. That's not how this works.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give up. Okay, let's go again. She's going to kill this body either way. So stop feeling what it feels. She skewers you.
Ooh, not bad. Real tough.
See? We're getting better. Okay, yeah. That was a good one. Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason. She skewers you. We're getting close to something. Can't you feel it? One last time. You're right. One last time. That's all we need. And then everything goes dark, and you die. Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin, and we'll take it from here.
Okay, I really need a pee. I'll be back.
Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel claw is already in our hand.
Oh, what if we throw it out the window?
Over my dead body.
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't say I mind anymore.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times than at the sharp hands of a beautiful woman?
Sure, I can think of a better way to die. Yeah, they're all the same, really. How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything.
The only thing we're gonna manifest is finally ending up on top.
If you say so.
There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is... How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them?
Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time.
Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover.
Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only...
It's more of a slide. We know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along. Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs? Or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this. Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait. And not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
Are you gonna say what she does? Do you want me to talk now?
God, he's so salty.
Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. And then it erupts. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades.
Some Edward Scissorhands shit.
Furiously in its cage of a chest.
Are you ready for what comes next?
Holy shit!
Not really.
She's gorgeous. Absolutely divine. Yes, behold, the perfect woman. Do you think we can throw her out the window? That looked painful. How is she still alive? Heart's still beating, that's all she needs. This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it?
This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing.
This is the emo one.
We're screwed. I quit. I'm done. Forget it.
This
All right,
is all just
What just happened? It's so quiet.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once. You're incredible.
Did we do it? Did we actually slay the princess?
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
What does it feel like to change like this?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Everything you say feels like a riddle. Can you give me a single straight answer?
I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions.
That is true. I could just
The
not ask.
vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
When this is all done, do you know what you want to do?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
Thank you or ask why? You've been kinder to me than anyone else I've ever met. Why?
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
Are you really sorry? What do you want me to bring you next time?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
What do you feel about me? These vessels I've been bringing you, I've hurt them.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before.
So I just need to keep on hurting the princess to carve more texture into this creature's life, which I don't think sounds fair.
I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
So you don't have any preferences on how you'd like to change or grow?
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
When I go back, it's as if an invisible wall closes around me. Why can I not do the same things I've done before?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
Okay, I'm ready to go back, and then the next time, I feel like I'm gonna attack the entity.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
You're on a path in the woods, and you're here to slay her.
What if I feel like silently is the one that I haven't done?
You make your way up the short a warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and we're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I want to try not taking the blade again. I still want to see if I can do like a strangling.
The door to the basement creeper voice softly carries up the stairs.
So I think depending on whether or not you take the blade, that's whether or not she is cruel or not.
Hello? Is someone there?
Is hypnotized. Don't let it fool you. It's
Let's say I'm here to
How
save
many
you.
times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Let's examine the chains.
Only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm going to check upstairs. Maybe the key is still lying around somewhere up there, and if not, maybe I can at least find something to break it free.
Okay. I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Is someone else here?
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Okay. So far, this is like my first
You make your
run.
way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
I can't slay her this time? Interesting. The first time I could.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal.
No, she didn't.
She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end. You bring the blade down to strike at the princess's heart. But she's fast. She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside. Slaying her won't be easy now that she's free.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just lying to me this whole time? I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that?
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world.
But she can't leave anyway unless it's with me.
It can't just end like this, right?
As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Okay.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Eh.
A warning. She will lie.
Don't worry. You can trust us to get the job done.
The opportunist is with us now.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I'll take the blade this
Take the
time.
blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it.
That's not actually a bad idea.
I think she would know. I'm not approaching the mirror
The door
because
to the
every single
basement
time we
creaks
do,
open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
skitters.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. But you are. You're a wretched little thing. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You
Good
need
point.
to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss.
Why is he the boss?
Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses.
She's got claws for toes.
Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true.
Well, that's new.
I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first.
Also,
Maybe
is
we
that
can
a
find a middle
tail?
ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
Smart. Let's apologize, get us back on the right foot.
Oh, you're sorry. Isn't that nice? You're such a gracious little monster.
She doesn't believe
If
me.
you're sorry, then let me out of here. Prove it.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Don't worry, the blade isn't for you, or not for killing you. We've got to get you out of here somehow, right?
Oh, I don't need you to cut me out.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
Look, I know things got messy last time, but I think there's something bigger than the both of us at work. We should team up.
I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all, and unfortunately, you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it. Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
I don't want to hurt you.
You can't be serious. Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no.
I
As
think
do
she's
I.
gonna kill us anyway. So,
I, abstain? You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her.
this isn't a democracy. We're giving her the blade.
You're going to get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face.
What do you think happens now?
Don't know if I should choose the first one or the second one. We're both scared and we're both hurting. If one of us doesn't make a change, we'll probably kill each other forever. You want that? I don't. I think we can be better than this, but she feels like the kind of person who would do that.
Her shoulders tense and her eyes dart away.
This is another trick. You're trying to sow doubt, but it's not going to work on me.
And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No, come on, that's not right. I told you this is what she was going to do.
Yeah.
Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you. You...
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
I knew she would regret it as well.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
See, that's the thing. I think if we can come back a third time,
But you don't have the strength to respond.
I think
Nor
she'll
do you
fully
have the
trust us now.
time. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods. I can't believe she actually stabbed us. I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to bite us. I voted against it. Yeah, we know. You already got your I told you so's in while we were bleeding out. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was and am on the right side of that argument. Oh, you're far from being on the right side of anything. You're fixated on the past, whereas what you should be is fixated on the future. Ho ho, a visionary.
I like it. Tell me more. Gladly, my dear fellow. By cruelly turning on the princess in her moment of vulnerability, we made ourselves an enemy. But by mastering our fear and insecurity and handing over our power, we've begun a journey to something so much deeper. I like journeys. Traveling is a bit of a passion of mine. It makes me so relatable. Now, where are we off to? Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love. She hates us, does she? She hesitated before stabbing us to death. Maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change, so maybe she'll realise that things don't have to end in violence. You know, maybe you're right, in which case I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try.
The narrator's been surprisingly silent.
Give what
Oh,
another try
there we go.
exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right? It makes no difference if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking your cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom.
I have a feeling this voice actor, because all the princesses, well, all the different types of princesses, all voice acted by the same person, and all the voices are also voice acted by the same person. I think that they would be great Dungeons and Dragons players.
Oh, are you now? Great, so you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died at least once. Twice, actually. Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare you the little introduction I had planned. You already know about the princess, and clearly you already know that she's dangerous. So don't muck this up. It's bad enough that this isn't your first time through.
Even now, I'm sure she understands that, but we can see what she has to say for herself when we get back to the
Yes.
cabin.
Good. Playing both sides. That's what smart people do, and you're the smartest in the room.
Am I?
I'm not sure it counts as playing both sides if people can hear you doing it. Buddy, you're thinking in far too few dimensions. There's layers to doing this right, and I'm pretty sure the one making the choices gets that. Trust in the plan. Trust in what plan? The Decider's plan. Sure, we don't know what the plan is yet, but that's part of the whole trusting thing, isn't it? A good leader knows how and when to keep things secret, and sometimes a good leader even knows to keep things secret from himself. There isn't a plan, and that's the whole point. We're supposed to be guided by emotion. We're supposed to passionately live in the moment, and I'm sure that when the time comes, those passions will tell us to set our darling princess free. If I were you, I'd remember what she's done. You know how dangerous she is. And you should know that someone like her shouldn't be let loose upon the world.
I think if we just try to leave, it's gonna do the same thing that when we tried to leave the last time. Yeah, no matter what happens left, it seems like all our answers are in the cabin. Let's see this through.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one too. Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters. The princess is a threat to you. She's a threat to me, and most importantly, she's a threat to the world. You know what you have to do. The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior at all anymore. The burned-out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash. But beneath it lies the fresh smell of spring growth after rain, the promise of new
This
life in the
seems
wreckage
very
of the old.
promising. This seems very sweet.
The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table. A pristine... Wait, this isn't right. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? We gave it to her last time. She can't still have it, can she? Well, it's not here. And if she has it, let me guess, you want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon. It's just the smart thing to do. I wouldn't be so hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have it. That's not how this is supposed to work. If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We have already shown her our heart. Now she has to show us hers. Unless her heart tells her to stab us, which doesn't seem unlikely, so yes, I agree. Let's make sure we get on her good side. Yeah, why didn't you mention the mirror? I didn't mention a mirror because there isn't a mirror. But he says there isn't one. That's got to count for something, right? Either way, I say we take a look. It feels like it's been forever since we've actually seen ourselves. For all we know, our feathers are all out of place. And that's why
Is that a
we haven't yet
metaphor?
won
Is
her
that
heart.
legitimate?
We must
Like,
put our
do we
best
have a
face
bunch of feathers?
forward. Yeah, we can't go around looking disheveled. A real go-getter takes care of his appearance. So, is the door to the basement behind the mirror? I promise you there isn't a mirror, and there isn't a door to the basement. The entrance is more of a burned-out frame than anything else, and it's right there on the far side of the room. Do you really not see it? You step forward and approach the scorched entryway leading to the basement, hesitating before you begin the descent. You know what you have to do. Wipe away the grit from the mirror, and behold our handsome features. You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement. You really thought there was a mirror there, didn't you? That can't be good. As if things weren't unpredictable enough. Alas, our fine features remain unseen. We'll just have to trust that she'll find us beautiful as we are. Well, seems like the only way to go is forward, isn't it? Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just put on a good face and have our wits about us. You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been extinguished. Yet fresh shoots of thorny branches are already weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around you. Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to brush past their jagged points with ease. At least on the way down. But you don't need to think about the way back up just yet. That's a matter for after the world's been saved. These thorns are an expression of her pain. I know it. She's calling out for help. Her voice, worn down by pain and suspicion, hobbles up the stairs.
I think this is the romantic ending, or this is the most, but I don't believe it's gonna end up with a happy ending. I believe it's still
I
gonna.
can't get away from you, can I? You betray me, I kill you, and you come back. You let me kill you, and you come back. I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me.
Should we just not talk? Or should we... I think if we're going for the romantic thing, we should say this. I want to free you. I really mean it.
I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave. So, come down and talk. It's not like I can stop you.
See it down the stairs.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward.
This is like some Sleeping Beauty imagery.
You step out into what was once a vast open cavern, now overrun by briars and prickles and thistles, the space thick with hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh?
I'm not gonna leave her. I think this right now is a battle of trust. So if you pass me the blade, I can cut her free, and then, you know, That establishes
Am I supposed to
trust.
believe it's safe in your hands? That you aren't just saying what you need to say in order to fool me and save yourself?
She sounds very American right now. It's in like the accent. I'm not talking about the things she's saying. I don't want to leave her. I'm just gonna try reaching for the blade. I think she'll give it to me.
You reach into the thorns, towards her bloodied hands and the blade clutched tight in her grasp. But she snatches it away.
Oh, she.
In all
Oh.
the thorns that carve fresh wounds as she moves within her prison of vines.
I assumed she would.
This was the only reason you'd come back down here. I'm not falling for it. It's mine now, and I'll let these thorns tear me to shreds before I hand it over.
If I reach for the blade again, is she just gonna do the same thing? Or is it just a matter of like, I'm not gonna leave. I'm not gonna leave. I'm just.
You reach into the nest of thorns once again, and again she yanks the blade away, despite the obvious pain it causes.
Play your games all you want, but I've decided how I feel. I can do this forever if that's what it takes to keep it out of your hands.
Is she not gonna give in? She looks really sad. Okay, there's only one thing I can do now that isn't leaving her. Is there nothing I can say to change your mind?
No, we're past that. You and I both know words are hollow.
But we trusted each other for a bit.
Figures. I wouldn't trust her, so why would she trust us? You're the one who got us here. If you
But
weren't
we
doing
gave
so much
her-
scheming, maybe we could have formed a genuine connection. Maybe we could have fixed things. I think there are a lot of other people worth pointing fingers at before you go blaming me. I'm just looking out for our best interests. Did you forget she stabbed us last time?
Yes,
I
but
remember,
we gave her
and
the
I'd do
blade.
it all again. I'd gladly take 1,000 knives to save her just once.
Aw, they're forcing me to leave. What is the least harsh way to leave? You're in a prison of your own making. If you're going to... I feel they're all kind of harsh, to be honest. I think this one is the least harsh. I guess I don't have anything left to say to you. I hope they give...
Do you really think you can just wash your hands of all of this? Do you really think you can just leave me here?
No, I wasn't trying... You didn't want to... You didn't want to let me help you. So...
This is even better than stabbing her. The same reward without any of that nasty effort. It's not even better. Putting off a choice is always worse than making a committed decision, especially when you already know the right answer.
It's even more cruel if you ask me. Leaving an incredible soul like hers to languish forever in pain and alone. How can we bear to live with the guilt?
We'll live with it just fine. Besides,
I don't think she'll get
over it.
over it.
that's what I'm afraid of. But as you approach the basement stairs, you make a grim realization. The thorns won't let you leave.
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
We
So...
don't have any way to cut through them.
Yeah, so we need it.
Okay, new plan. We re-befriend the princess, get the blade, and all of us leave here together as friends.
That is what I was trying to do. 3 choices
can't
ago.
live without me, can you? Isn't that funny? Isn't that so funny? This is perfect, actually. Just you and me rotting down here forever, together.
It's what we deserve after everything we've done. It's romantic, even. We got our beautiful ending after all, tragic as it may be.
They're gonna give me more options, right? They're not just gonna...
You know, just to make sure things are a little more permanent, I think I'm going to take this particular needle out of the picture.
What do you mean?
Wouldn't. Thorns slice into the princess's hands, lacerating what little skin
What, she's
remains
gonna
as she
swallow
raises the
it?
blade to her mouth. Take it now, before she swallows it out of spite.
I'm gonna do nothing.
You stand in place among the thorns, inert, merely watching as the princess swallows your only way out of this place.
I mean, we can always open her up.
She actually did it. Good for her. Such a decisive woman. But extremely not good for us. Blood trickles down the corner of her mouth. Then
Yeah, that's
flows
what I
from
was
between her
thinking. She's
lips.
gonna die if she tries to.
She smiles.
There. Isn't this just perfect?
See, that's my thought process. If she actually does swallow it, she's gonna die. And then, like, we'll just get the blade from her. Oh. I guess not.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
This is the end for you, but not the end for me. As in, like, the...
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. You better watch your back. You can't get rid of me that easy.
Do it then. End us all before I die of a broken heart.
Okay, I'm approaching the mirror. I still want to know what I am, because this is clearly not human. I've withered. I didn't grow, I withered. The last time I grew. Why did I wither this time? Okay.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
Most contradictions can exist. How can you stand to be at least one of us always hurts the other? You think of this vessel. Every time I bring her a new vessel, she doesn't seem to care that much. How can you stand to
As
be a
easily as you
contradiction?
can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
Sorry. I think I'm just ready to go
I will
back, to be
here
honest.
when it is time for us to meet again.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. You make your way up the short. A warning. She will. We're not going to go. Ignore him.
Alright, I'm gonna take the knife the second time. The first time I took the knife,
The interior of the cat. The blade is. You take the blade. The door to the basement creak. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
yeah, the moment you take the blade, she's hostile.
She sounds dangerous. Don't let it fool you.
Oh, It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about.
You walk down the stairs. She's so... Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Hey.
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
That is true.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
She doesn't lose
Against
the
your
edge to
better
voice, though.
judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Should I say this?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
There's people out there who think you're gonna end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
I was hoping you'd
Ending
tell
the
me.
world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why, took the knife from you.
Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Ask her name again.
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Too long.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, We can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Oh? Have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Let's say...
Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day.
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Don't know if I should slay her. If I slay her again, it's gonna be the same shit again, right?
Against your better judgment, you place the blade you cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp and you make quick work of it. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
No, I'm gonna
Stop
warn her.
that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it. You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Right, I'm gonna go to the toilet again. I've never seen this dialogue option before. Oh, you bastard, you're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
Alright, let's go to the cabin.
A warning. She will lie. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
What if I don't take the blade this
I'm
time?
afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon. Are you sure? What if she, I don't know, turns it against us? Which I'm bringing up in a purely hypothetical manner. Yes, I'm sure. Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world. Okay, I'm trusting you. Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We take the knife as we go.
Okay, fine. We take the knife,
Do exactly that, sweeping the blade from the table.
but we play all the pacifist roles.
Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it.
Exactly.
No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the
Why is she
princess.
tied up so
looks
much?
The heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Should I leave her? I've never tried leaving her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
First you make a comment about having been here before, and now this. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
Contingency.
For what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck. If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
Exactly. The hell?
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
There's an alternative?
That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky. So don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright? Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that. I won't. Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
I want to know, that other chain in the wall, who is it for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Shall do it.
And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
Yes.
Or what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate. But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't.
It's okay,
I
we
am.
die anyway.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement. Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now?
It's okay. That's what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now? Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve. That's horrible. It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information. Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch. Know that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
Yep. Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
Did you know that this was going to happen to me?
No.
Not one for small talk, are you?
Nope.
That's rude.
I don't think that's rude. She's
You and the
allowed.
princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything.
This is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
I don't. Okay, if we're being honest, I don't think that that blade is necessarily that far away. I'm sure if you reached out a bit, you could reach it. Just saying. But, you know,
But there isn't.
they should have, not to criticize the developers, but if you put it like really far away, like at this corner, then maybe.
Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent.
At least the world is safe.
It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything.
Yeah, exactly. There's no consequence to leaving her tied up, right? And the thing is, she can only escape if we enter. So why do we even enter in the first place? The consequences that he mentions is that if she escapes, and she can't escape unless we are there.
But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does.
But
Your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
if time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger and larger.
Have you noticed the basement changing?
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
I have no idea what lichen is.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass. Until suddenly, there are no walls. And then... And?
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
It's going to be okay, just trust me, we've been here before, and you always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
Not the end. Whatever's on the other side is going to be nice.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. Feels too good to be true.
Unraveled. What is it?
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it.
Do you think that anything is real out there? Do you think that we are real?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
When you send me back, I'm not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me, but one of them is something else. I call him the narrator, and he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Have the vessels had one?
No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
He does, and when I find him, you and I are finally gonna have answers.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
Do you know what's going to happen when you awaken?
If I did, I would already be awake.
How many more vessels?
One. Whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
Ooh. If this is the last time, is there anything you'd like me to bring you?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
Okay.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her.
Okay, I'm just going to choose
The
this.
spirit. You make your way up. A warning. She will lie. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale. The blade is your implement. You take the blade.
Right, she's going to be hostile towards us because we took the blade.
The door to the base. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs.
She's so coldly beautiful.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me?
I'm just not going to talk.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that's so, you should just drop it. Best.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh, this is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. Do you actually believe this?
It's like she's convinced. Yes, but it's over. But is it over?
Why is it blacked out?
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back. Why do I feel like you've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy. This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward.
Evangelion shit.
This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just going to stay here forever, right?
Alright, let's just say that we're
Are we
happy.
really happy? Or is he just telling us that we are?
No, we're happy.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please, shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices, please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
Good, because I have an idea to get us out of here.
I just said I
Though
was
you're probably
happy.
not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this.
What,
I
through
can hear
suicide?
everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare. How astute. You are absolutely correct. Using the blade to kill yourself would kill you, and you shouldn't do it. In a sense, we die, but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore? This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just the same thing, constantly, forever. I know this is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy. Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you. You're on a path you're here to slay her.
I think this is the only one I haven't explored.
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again. Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. She won't be a problem. The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
Fuck the blade. Let's go.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. We could probably grab her and kill her again, if we wanted to. We don't even need a blade. She looks fragile enough to me.
I was saying before, I don't think a blade is necessary to kill her.
I see you don't have that annoying knife anymore. So, does that mean you regret what you've done? Are you here to apologize and make nice? Beg for absolution, maybe? Because I might be interested in seeing a little begging.
Let's say this. This is the most interesting one. Do you want me to die? Do you want me to kill myself to satisfy some sort of sick revenge fantasy? Because I already did that, and it wouldn't be hard to do that again.
Are we putting this to a vote? Because personally, I'd prefer if we didn't die again.
If that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to. But I don't see the point of offing ourselves just yet.
Oh, that's sweet of you to offer. But killing yourself wouldn't help either of us.
It would seem that everyone here is in agreement except for you. I shouldn't have to tell you that you shouldn't kill yourself. So please, try to keep your suicidal tendencies in check.
Fine. Fine. I'll keep them in check.
And just where is home, I wonder?
I don't know where home is. I just know it isn't here. But I can feel it calling to me from someplace far away. Wherever I'm supposed to be, it's out there.
How specific.
And how convenient for her. You see what she's doing, right? She's suggesting that the only way you can rid yourself of her would be to let her out, which, in case you haven't been listening, will spell the end of the entire world.
Okay, let's try this. Is there any way I can help you get home? Do you need me to bury those bones?
No, those bones are just a body. They aren't me. Bury them, smash them. It won't do a thing. But you can help me. This place won't let me leave. At least, not alone. I've tried. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here.
Maybe we should just leave. If she can't get out on her own, then why do we have to do anything? We could probably walk out right now and everything will be fine.
Hasn't got out and can't get out are two very different things.
It'd be dull anyway. It's more interesting if we make a choice.
But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you own me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her.
I'm gonna do it.
Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly.
You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
Nope. Let's do
Princess
it.
swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
You're really trying to make it up to me, aren't you? Thanks for being a pal, killer. I mean it.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul. I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over? I'm afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Come on, you. You've got to get up. I know everything feels heavy right now, but we still have to get out of here.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
So, it doesn't work like that for you? Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor, are they also supposed to be you?
What shards?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass,
It's okay. You can finish your thought.
I'm a voice? I'm me is what I am. Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
You don't have to fight. We'll all be out of here soon.
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too. I'm clearly the same thing you are.
They're not listening to me. Do they not listen to you either?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
So, you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
You don't have to let him get to you. You're better than that. You're starting to make things right.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
No, if I do this, I have a feeling some of them will be booted out. I just want to leave.
Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
I do. Wait, if she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world? It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is, it's outside of the world. Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world. I suppose it's all a matter of perspective. Where does the world end and something else begin? Does the destruction of one open a door to another? Or is it the same world reborn? Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door. For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
Maybe the bossy one doesn't actually hate me. Maybe he even likes me. Or maybe he just knows that he's been in the wrong. Maybe he's trying to make amends too.
Not at all.
I'll have you know that I do hate you, and I will continue to hate you for as long as I am able. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate.
And whine.
This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make that happen.
So basically, I'm assuming that this is a kill yourself situation or don't kill yourself situation, right? I'm not gonna
Continue
kill.
slowly to the
No.
door, your feet like lead dragging across the floorboards, growing heavier with each step.
We're so close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If we get out of here, I won't even care that you murdered me anymore.
Oh.
You lift your shaking hand and rest it on the door handle, but you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will.
Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling. Let's see what happens next.
Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it, and then the door groans open. Collapse to the ground, you and the princess, free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from the effort, you look up and see... yes?
Nothing. He's gone, and so is everything else.
So we did slay him after all. He had it coming, I suppose.
But what about us? Are we just stuck here in nowhere forever? Did taking her out of the cabin really end the world?
We're still here.
Yeah, but that thing you said earlier, are we not part of the world anymore? Are we in some world that exists after the world ends, or on top of the other world but not in it, or have we never been part of the world?
Okay, I've heard enough from these two. Let's see if I can pop out. I'm out. You actually freed me, didn't you? I'm outside. Thanks for giving me a second chance, Philip.
Don't mention it.
I think this is where I meant to be.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? This doesn't feel right. It feels...
Ignore him. You have to look.
I think you know what I am.
The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far. We've already crossed the point of no return. There's no saving me now. Not that there's ever been much of me to save. A construct. It was supposed to keep the two of you trapped here until the job was done.
and it was supposed to guide your hand to help you see things through. The construct you're in exists in every world at once. Any time you failed, any time you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both you and her into a new world. But you're waking up to your true nature now. It won't be able to work like that anymore.
Here's the thing. The only thing is to destroy the mirror, so I can't... Okay. Do you have anything to say for yourself for all of this hubris?
I do. People out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that.
After everything you've done to us, do you think anyone deserves to live?
Nobody alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you.
Okay, I'll try and ask the more important questions. So you do know about the looping. So many of the times I met you, you denied it as even being a possibility. Why did you lie to me?
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. And for all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me, I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
Yeah, I'll try asking this stuff that. Whenever I've tried getting answers out of you before, you've been absolutely impenetrable. Why are you suddenly being so open?
Her nature is to become what others perceive her to be. If you actually knew what she was, if you knew her capabilities, a single intrusive thought could have instantly ended the entire world.
I see, okay. People out there beyond the walls of the construct, do they know about this? Do they know what you want me to do to them?
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end. Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering.
But one could make the argument that without death, there is no meaning to life. And without suffering, there is no happiness. Whatever. Yeah, I feel like there's only one last question, or maybe there's two. I don't know. Let's ask this. What is the princess? Did you make her too?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. Seems that every me you met did a real shit job of it, though.
I am still very much in the ballpark of not wanting to kill her. I don't think he's given me a good enough reason. I think that everything that he said so far has been, she's just a puppet or a pawn, and it's not her fault, and she doesn't deserve it, and also I don't fully believe that it leads to the unwinding of the world.
Well, there's no reasoning with a god, even one you've woven into existence yourself. I've said my piece, and my time is up. I'm just an echo, and every echo fades away.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly. Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
I'm the long quiet, but I don't really know what that means.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
What happens
the
now?
passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
There's so many stories we've left unfinished. Can we really just leave?
Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us.
Don't you have a say in all of this? Why is this all falling on me?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
I think it's time for us to leave this place, but I don't know how to leave or where to go.
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final piece lies with you. I love you.
I love you too.
It's magnificent. Everything, just like it always has been, and just like it always will be.
Aww. It was a lot sweeter of a game than you assume. Did you just see thanks to Markiplier? I just want to see. Whoa, there's so many unexplored vessels. I might return for another time to do a different run of this, to be completely honest with you. It was a lot sweeter than I assumed it would be. And you can tell a lot of labor has gone into this and a lot of love. And yeah, it was good. It wasn't the most apt thing in the world, but at the same time, with the nature of choose your own adventure games, I don't think things can be that apt. Especially if you want to. The more variety of options you give, the harder it is to have a very concise ending. But that's always been the nature of choose your own adventure games, even with like text-based games, visual novels, anything that involves stuff like that. Stuff will always, I mean, you know, not align, you know. But it was a meaningful experience. I enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me.